Welcome to a short video covering the stages where people go through when they go changes, deep changes, when there's reflection needed, when you're a bit stuck and you want to move forward. And with these transformations is not always easy, and there are some templates that can help you with that. So therefore, this brief overview of some of these templates, some of these journeys you can undergo, and it will help you to give more grounding in where you are. Life can be, let's be honest about it, life can be very puzzling by time to time, and it's good to know what are these possible steps you can take. So therefore, this short introduction. So the first template is the hero's journey from Joseph Campbell, where he describes certain stages that people go through when they deal with challenges. And whether it's like going to the university for the first time, or whether it's your first big relationship, or any learning cycle, people go to these type of steps. And it just to give very briefly the overview, it's very much about leaving the place where you are, the comfort zone. You go to kind of initiation, you go to the descent where you enter up a big challenge. But on its way to that challenge, you encounter tests and enemies and allies, and you get helped and then you get blocked. And so it's about learning on your way down. You conquer that challenge, and then you take the reward and you come back to the stage where you come from. Like you finish university, that's a big journey. So all these steps has been very well described, by the way. So it is something that everybody goes through, and it's very much similar in this learning cycle. So understanding what's happening with you when you're in difficulty, this is a possible framework that can help you. So it's really worthwhile to read the book. This is just a brief overview, because that will help you to understand where you are. Now, the second framework is much more straightforward, so-called the 4 stage of competence. Because, look, if you learn something, you always come from a stage where you're incompetent, you cannot do it. But you're not aware of it. You're unconscious incompetent. And that is a stage where people are a bit stupid and they say stupid things. But as soon as they start doing it, they'll realize, oh, I really cannot do it. So they become conscious incompetent, here shown in yellow. And then the challenge is to push through and to keep on practicing and learning and improving, because at a certain moment you become conscious competent, where you say, hey, I can do it. It might need some effort for certain elements, but from the green zone, it's easier to go to the blue zone, where it becomes automatic. You become unconscious incompetent. So you know you can do it, but you're not aware of it anymore. So that's a nice stage to be in. So the transition from green to blue is a very beautiful stage, while the bottom part is more like a challenging state. So as soon as you learn something new, be aware of it. This is going to happen. This is part of the game. But this is something to always keep in mind. So where are you exactly on this learning curve, on this competence pyramid? That brings us to another framework from Elizabeth Kubler-Ross on the 5 stages of grief, the 5 stages of loss. And this happens when there is a shock in life, when you lose something, whether it is a project, whether it's losing a friend, when a death of a person as well. So all these stages are well described, and going to these stages in the correct order and really going through that will help you to go through these stages more fluently and more with ease, so to speak. So what are these 5 stages? When you get told about something, like a loss of something, or a friend, it comes as a shock. There's a first stage, and the shock can be very short in time, but shortly after it's followed by denial. No, this cannot happen, this cannot happen to me, or that did happen to my friend, it's impossible. There is a kind of denial. And when this stage is passed, there's a stage of anger. How could this happen? Why did it happen to me? Why did it happen to my friend? So this anger stage is a very normal stage, and it's very important to go to that stage and fully embody the anger, because that's relevant. It will help you to go to the next step, where it's so-called bargaining. It's a catharsis stage, where it can go in 2 directions. When you can let go and you understand, okay, it's a loss and that's part of life, and you continue with that, there's a stage of acceptance. So there's a healthy closure of the cycle. But it can happen though when people hold on and they cannot let go, and depend of course on the magnitude of the loss. But it's possible that people hang in this depression state. So they haven't gone fully through the shock, denial, anger stage and bargaining stage, meaning they're holding on for one reason or another. It could be that they still have to go to the anger stage. They still have to maybe reflect on it. Maybe it was linked with something else, or in their life, another event. But understanding that these are the stages that people go through, it helps you all to understand that, hey, which stage you're in right now and what will be coming next. So understanding these 5 stages of loss, 5 stages of grief, will understand you where you are, and it will help you also in a kind of cognitive level to understand where you are. So that's really helpful framework from Kubler-Ross. So that brings us to another framework. It's called adult development. Quite a few authors have been writing on it. It's also called inner development or ego development. It's also called action logics, also called vertical leadership development. And that is the realization that from when we become adult, we keep on transforming and we go to different stages. And what I show you here is certain stages that people go through from opportunistic up to alchemist. So there's a stage where people are dependent, so they more like to conform, they like to protect themselves a little bit, they like to protect the group. But then they go to a stage where they become independent. They say, look, wait a minute, I can make my own life, I decide for my own life. Up to later, like interdependent, they realize, oh, wait a minute, I'm linked with a lot of elements and therefore understand the world much better. So in yellow, it's called a socialized mind, meaning you are conforming a group thinking, a group setting, and the red is more the self-authoring mind. You become the author of your own life, your own being. And self-transforming mind is a much mature stage where people are understanding that, hey, ego is an issue here. It might limit my growth, actually. So it's a stage where people can start integrating a lot of aspects from the past. They have been healing a lot of things in the past. It's more like a spiritual awakening, psychological awakening, a healing stage. And it allows people to behave differently and act and look at the world in a different way. So all these stages are completely different, and we go through it step by step. You cannot jump any stage here. But for example, the opportunist, it's still a small percentage of the population as an adult stage that has it. Normally by the age of 14, they grow out of that. But when somebody's opportunistic, they want to win no matter what. They self-orientated. They're kind of aggressive as well, very aggressive because they want to win. They will lie, they will manipulate, they want to win at all cost. But these people are good at emergencies and good in the sales, for example. The problem though, if people stay in that level, they do not understand the other levels. So you can only understand one level ahead. For example, opportunistic mindset will only understand the diplomatic a little bit, but not further. So they kind of blocked in their growth, but it's normal. Huh? When you mature, you go to these stages. For example, an achiever, they get things done. They understand the picture. The action and goal orientated. They tend to be quite good managers. But the downside is they can only work in a system and they cannot work with systems. And from achiever onwards, individualists, strategists, alchemists, people are more able to see the bigger picture. They can zoom out. They see the relationships much better. And it's actually quite a beautiful stage. They can create change. So people that are on the level of strategists or alchemists, they can transform organizations and teams. So they see the bigger picture, while an opportunist, for example, or a diplomat are not able to see that. You can get tested on that. There's a lot of writings done on it, and I'll give some in the comment as well. So a link to some publications where you can do some more reading on it. It's a very fascinating tool to understand where you are as a person. If you are a diplomat, then you can understand that, there are a lot of stages further on down the line. And you might not understand them yet, but it's still there. They are there. And although the majority of the population is achiever and below, when you go beyond achiever, That's a very, very unique stage where the percentage of the population is very small. Like alchemists is maybe 1% of the population. Strategists maybe 2 or 3% of the population. Individualists is maybe, it's getting increasing, like 5, 8%. Achievers is quite a big group. Experts is quite a big group. Diplomat is a smaller group, like 10, 20% depending on the study. Opportunistic is 5%. So we have an idea of why people are so different, because they have been transforming to different stages. So understanding where you are a little bit, and there's a lot of reading on that, will help you to understand, hey, what's my journey, what I need to work on, what I need to let go, and things like that. Very, very useful tool to deal with. Now, that brings us to TheoryU. And TheoryU from Otto Scharmer describes very much the stage of letting go and letting come. And it has been found in looking at innovation, creativity, how come that people are creative? How come that people can create change? And it's like, for example, you lose something. For example, you lost your cell phone somewhere. And the moment you find it back is by letting go, not searching for it anymore. You lost your keys somewhere, the house keys. And the moment you stop looking for it, you find it. That is very much the dynamic. You let go and let come on a small scale, but on a big scale as well. So a bit more detail on this. For example, you want to change something about your life, but you hold on to it. You think, yeah, I know this, or there's information there. But the only way to change something is to remove the judgment. There's always a judgment layer there. So you postpone judgment. So you start observing. So open your mind. By opening your mind, you're understanding how there's also cynicism there. I'm cynical about how will it really work, and yada yada. By opening your heart, you can redirect that position. And then by going deeper, it's like opening your will, it's like the fear. Saying, okay, look, I'm fearful about that situation where I'm stuck in, but I let go. And by having an open mind, open heart, open will, people can go to this valley here, this bottom of the U curve, and then they let go, and things will come. They have insights, new insight that they didn't have before, and they'll act on it. And then you can do prototyping. Oh, what about this? What about that? So creativity, innovation, change in life, in personal life, in organizations, very much follows this U movement, which can help you forward. Now, it can also the opposite one. So the yellow one is the one I just described. The blue one is the opposite, is where people are stuck in one truth, like I'm right and you're wrong. So they're kind of blind for certain things. Or we are right and they are wrong. So us versus them. So you get entrenched and you hold on to that. As soon as that happens, you end up with being manipulative. You start abusing other groups, even other nations. And so there's a lot of blocking. So he calls it the social pathology, the movement of destruction, while in yellow it's more like the movement of creating and the movement of emergence, or what's emerging. This is very fascinating to read into that, to embody it, to try that out. There's some online course on that, which are for free, by the way. But this is a good tool to help you understand, hey, I'm stuck, how I can get unstuck. So that's a tool that can help you with that. Try it out. That brings us to a book from Bill Plotkin, Nature and the Human Soul. Bill Plotkin writes a lot from the perspective of a bit shamanistic a little bit, but also nature-bound insight and change. And he says like cultivating wholeness as a person and community in a fragmented world. He says that we have been unlearning how we can transform due to our busy life, the westernized industry, the way we look at business. It's a very fragmented world, and we lost this capability, this capacity to make inner change. And he describes 8 stages of human life. I'm not going into detail here. I really advise you to read the book for that. But he says that each stage has challenges and benefits. And as soon as you resolve that, if you should go through these stages, you can go to the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And the last one being the sage, where you have this holistic view on the world. So it's a very fascinating book on the stages people go through. So I would really recommend to read this. If this is one of your topics that you're struggling with, this will help you forward for sure. Now, Some tools that can help you with that. One is called journaling, because you write down your thoughts, your emotions, your ambitions, your intentions, everything what's alive in you. And it doesn't have to be correct. It's not about being correct of things. It's just by writing down what's alive in you. And going through that process, your thoughts become more clear and your intentions become more clear. And that can help you in your journey. Other tools that can help you with this transformation, often like feedback loops. So you can look at it from the body to the mind. Yoga, dance, the 5 rhythms. You can look it up. 5 rhythms is very interesting. Running, martial art. By doing body work, you influence your mind, of course. It has a certain power. But I also can go from the mind to the body. Do journaling, like I mentioned before, mindfulness, meditation, walking meditation, walks in nature. This is the mind work, but it affects your body. So both are linked, of course, and it will help you forward. So if you do any type of body work, any type of mind-based work, that will help you forward in this process. But also expressions of feelings, to art, to drawings, painting, you name it, all that will help you as well. So it's a big project on its own if you look at it, at self-development and self-transformation. And you cannot always steer directly. You can look for coaches maybe, or like-minded people that are in that journey. But it's always good to find people that have been already through that journey and that can help you with that. Some mentorship, coaching as well. There's something to keep in mind. So life can be very puzzling and challenging. And the question sometimes you can ask you, what journey are you on? And which of these templates can help me in that journey? So have a deep look or deep dive in all these templates. Some templates are very open and very easy to understand. Some templates takes more research and understanding and integration. But as soon as you do that, you will be much more stronger where you are as a person. You'll be more grounded. And it will help you to move forward in your journey of self-discovery, self-development, and transformation. I wish you the very best. Wherever you are, wherever you're going, it's a fantastic path to be on. Give it a shot, try it out, and let me know in the comment how it's going.